Hey guys, Ted Bogard with the Ted Show. Welcome back. Always excited when I get a musical guest, a musical spotlight artist from Hutchdown Records. And today we have Seth James Hutchinson. Welcome, Seth. How you doing?
Thanks, Ted. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Good. I'm doing excellent. You're my last show of the day, my last show of the week. Very excited for you to kick off our weekend with your talents. But before we get there, let the audience learn a little bit about you. So give us some background on Seth.
Sounds great. Yeah, so I am 20. I'm about to be 21 here in the next month. And I have been just writing music and kind of just developing myself as an artist for the past 4 years. And yeah, we've been here at Hutchdown, like just working on some artist development. We have a couple different projects that have been going on right now. And we've been recording down here in OTR. So we've Sarah and I, as Hutchdown, the band, we've been working on a new EP that we're going to be putting out here soon. And yeah, we're just getting tracks down and all that kind of jazz.
So you said you started around age 16.
Yeah, started like.
And so did you always play? Did you always want to be a musician and artist, or did you have other things that you wanted to do when you were younger?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been like involved in music, obviously, like my entire life. And a lot of the motivation that I had for writing music came from my grandfather, who is a songwriter himself. And yeah, I've been just kind of ever since my senior year of high school, which was when I wrote my first song, Make It Okay. Yeah, since then, just have been developing as a writer and just getting different genres and different kind of moods under my belt. And, yeah.
What was it like when you finally finished that first song? Did you immediately have to go play it for everyone? What was the process like? Because that's like having a kid, which you'll eventually know about. That's like birthing a child. It's your baby, and so
Absolutely.
then you got to put it out in the world, and who knows if everybody's going to be nice about it. I hope they are. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, so when I finally, now that I'm 20, I like kind of wish that I had started a bit earlier. And yeah, the process was a lot more just kind of like getting all the ideas written down and then kind of just like, um, like playing through. And yeah, I wrote it at the space that I'm now renovating out as a current studio space for ourselves. So it's kind of nice that that process has all kind of stayed in the same place. And
Where'd the idea for that song come from?
The first one, Make It Okay, was like a very emotionally based song, and it came from like a place of kind of moving on to like a happier place of like acceptance with something. So yeah, just kind of like, and that's how like a lot of the songs that we've written here have been just like trying to like take the raw emotions of a situation, and put it into song form. So.
What's that like when you're collaborating with someone else? Because I think you write songs with other people, or just you?
No, definitely. I write with several different people, including my sister being the biggest person that I write with. She and I, when we get in a room together, like just because we're two very, creative and kind of free flowing people, like we kind of feed off of that energy with one another, and it's just great to get to collaborate with someone else too on a project.
It's got to be, it's a give or take process, I would imagine. So where have you come up with, as you're getting older, do you see that your songs are changing a little bit? And you mentioned earlier that you're trying out different genres. What are you trying?
Yeah, so my first EP was kind of more like classic, I guess I'd say. A little bit more of like classic, blues and jazz and ballady kind of derivatives. And then as I've kind of uh, continued writing, just like making more commercial based music and just music and songs that people can dance to and like feel that they could move their body, and there's a lot of movement that influences the music. So.
Is that your preferred genre? And by the way, thank you, Sarah. Sarah says, love the questions. Thank you. Is that your preferred genre? Do you like to have more upbeat music? You mentioned a ballad before, or is it just where the mood flows on how you write a song and how you come up with an idea?
Absolutely mood based, I'd say. There's like a lot of songs that we've had that, pull from like, a bouncy kind of feel and being happy. But, there's also songs that, you can take that kind of raw emotion of having like, needing to be upset or, like things like that. Like we like to incorporate like all the human emotions kind of like separately into their own pieces. And then, just giving something that the people that listen to it can really relate to or tap into.
So it's one thing to have written a song and to sing it for a few people. What's
Yeah.
it like to perform in front of a group, something that you've created?
Yeah, just getting to like say like, I'm a musician and like I play for people is like something that comes with like a great deal of pride and something like that I've always been looking forward to, like as like developing as a musician. And when I was very young, I was, very socially just kind of scared and like didn't really know how to go about that as being a performing artist. And then, just forcing myself to put myself in situations, obviously, where I'm being looked at by, a room of people has kind of warmed me up to that. So,
And then this, I think that it's interesting because as you're developing as an artist, because we tend to have some really cool artists on the show, there's a whole new world of branding and social media that you have to bring into your business plan. Because if anybody's watching and thinks that this is your career, this is what you want to do with your life, this is your passion. So it's actually, there's a whole business side. And
oh, absolutely.
branding's part of that. So talk about how you maneuver through the branding that's specific to the music industry and still stay fresh.
Yeah, so a lot of our just like finding like where our niche is has come from like a lot of our audience responses and just kind of like especially when we play shows, like feeling out how people react to different songs and like what kind of moods and genres that we can pull from that. So like it's a lot of just based on like being able to pull from like being able to really tap into an entire room, like I said. And um like developing the brand has been like a several year process, obviously. And just growing a community of people that love listening to music and love creating it with one another. And I mean that's what it's all about.
How have you handled not being able to perform, at least out and about during COVID? Have you done any performances online? Have you what have you been doing creatively to keep busy and keep moving forward?
Yeah, so our studio just opened back up in OTR, Gwyn Sound, and Sarah and I have just got back in, and there were a few pieces that we actually had, kind of half tracked out in the, like right when the pandemic started, and so like there are a lot of projects that were just like up in the air, and so I guess a lot of the time that I've spent over this period has been just kind of perfecting those songs and getting them kind of like idealistically where we want them to be. And then as of this past week, we were able to finally get back in the studio and start laying down some different instrumentations and yeah, start to wrap those pieces up. So yeah, it's been
And then
great.
what's the next thing? Are you all going to begin to, whenever we open up fully, whatever that looks like, are you guys going to begin to go back out, perform? Do you have plans to do anything in the near future, or are you just holding out to kind of see where things are at?
I mean, at the moment, we're somewhat holding out, but at the earliest opportunity that we can, we're like more than eager to get back into performing live and getting that kind of experience again.
All right, so let's talk about performing live. Great
Yeah.
transition right there. Nice segue. We're very excited. I love to hear live music. I love it when people perform. This is such a raw platform to perform on. What are you going to sing for us?
So I was going to sing a song off of the EP that Sarah and I have coming out. I was going to perform Pacific Coast Time, which is a revamp and remix of this a single off of or a song off of my first EP that we've been refreshing and kind of changing the instrumentation, and then just a cover for fun to kind of close it out for the
Oh,
weekend.
good. Oh, I like them both. All right, what's Pacific Coast Highway or Pacific Coast?
Time.
Time. What's
Yeah.
that song about?
That is about just, you know, getting free and hitting the open road and kind of like exploring new like areas, like, you know, wherever that happens to be in your life. And it was written originally by my grandfather. So
Oh my God, that's so cool. That's
thank
very
you.
cool. All right, so this is that part where I'm going to get out of the camera shot and it's going to be all you. So, all right, ready to hear it. Looking forward to it.
Till 9 Pacific Coast time, watching the sun slowly die into a sea like it's calling me with a promise to set me free. Oh, I've traveled this coast from south to north, and this time from sea to sea. But I haven't come close to the thing I want most, just knowing where I ought to be. Oh, when I go wrong, why haven't I found where I belong? Sitting under this California sun, thinking my life is over. Late in my youth and speaking the truth, just looking for some peace of mind. Everyone says there's a place way out west where the folks are happy all the time. So I packed me a bag, hopped on my bike, just headed for this town called LA. Oh, it was certainly nice, but it couldn't go right. Any reason for me wanting to stay? Oh, where'd I go wrong? Why haven't I found where I belong? Sitting under this California sun, thinking my life is over. Sitting under this California sun, thinking my life is over. Oh, when I go wrong, why haven't I found where I belong? Sitting under this California sun, thinking my life is over. Sitting under this California sun, thinking my life is over.
That was beautiful. That was awesome. One of the reasons I take myself off too is because I'm smiling and tapping to the beat as we go, and nobody wants to see that. That was really, really good. The tone in your voice, not to sound like Paula Abdul. Maybe you won't be old enough to remember what that reference is, but
No,
your tone is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You got lots of love going on up and down the feed here, so that was awesome. So when you sing, like when you sang that, I immediately got into a relaxed place. Like, okay, this is cool. Like I was mellow. When you sing it, what are the emotions that are going through your head as you're singing it? Because it's your baby, and these are your words. These are things that came out of your heart or whoever you collaborated with on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, they come from, I guess, just like a raw place of like, you know, feeling content, like, and just like, you know, whether that be like emotionally or like physically, just like being in a place that brings you just lots of joy. And like you said, just being mellow and, you know, relaxed and finally reaching that point. So,
well, it had such a great feel to it. Like I could listen to that by my pool. I mean, I'm just sharing it off the top of my head. I love that kind of music because you can get into it. You can listen to the words. I could actually understand the words, so I appreciate that. It just was very, you know, because a lot of times when artists come on, I've got to go look up the song because their style is completely different. You know, us old folks, we sometimes can't understand the lyrics, but that was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you said you're going to finish us up though, and then once you finish, before you do that, well, no, go ahead and do that, and then we'll share how people can get your songs, get your EP, reach out to you, and all of that. We'll do that after you sing.
Sounds awesome.
All right, what's up next?
Yeah, so I have a cover to close it out. I'm going to sing John Mayer's "Slow Dancing in a Burning Room" just to close it out on a mellow and just kind of, you know, like the name suggests.
Fantastic song. It's awesome. All right, Seth James Hutchinson.
It's not a silly little moment. It's not the storm before the calm. This is a deep and dying breath for this love that we've been working on. I seem to hold you like I want to, so I can feel you in my arms. Nobody's gonna come and save you. We've told too many false alarms. We're going down. You can see it too. We're going down. And you know that we're doomed. I deal with slow dancing. Was the one you always dreamed of. You were the one I tried to draw. How dare you say it's nothing to me? Baby, you're the only light I ever saw. Make the most of all the sadness. You be a bitch because you can. You try to hit me, deserve it, so you leave me feeling dirty when you can't understand. We're going down. You can see it too. We're going down. And you know that we're doomed, my dear. We're slow dancing in the burning. Think we ought to know by now. We should learn somehow. Don't you think we ought to know by now? Don't you think we should learn somehow? Don't you think we ought to know by now? Don't you think we ought to love somehow? Don't you think we ought to? Don't you think we ought to? Don't you think we ought to know? Go cry about it, why don't you? Go cry about it, why don't you? Oh, go cry about it, go cry about it. Why do you wear slow dancing?
I love that song. That version was awesome. Why that song? Why of all the songs that you could have picked, did you pick that one?
Yeah, that's just like, to me, just always been a personal favorite of my song. I remember specifically having the DVD version of his performance of that, and like, I had both versions, CD and DVD. I'd listen to it in my parents' car. I'd listen to it on, like on the big screen. Like that was someone just growing up that, as a musician and as an artist in total, like I really looked up to. So, I thought, what better way to close it out,
Perfect. I love it. All right, Seth, that was amazing. Tell them how they can reach out to you, how they can find your music, how they can learn more about what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah. So our music is released on all major platforms, Spotify and Apple Music. And you can also find me on Instagram at Seth James Hutchinson. And then you can also find just kind of like what we do in total under our projects on the same platform, Instagram, with Hutchdown Records. So that's like kind of where we put, the majority of like just what we're working on and, the time that we spend here working in the studio too. So.
Fantastic. Thank you for kicking the weekend off. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your music. I love it when we get one song, but when we get two, that's the best. Thank you, Seth James Hutchinson, Hutchdown Records. Big shout out to Julie, of course. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Thank you, Seth. Reach out, listen to more of his music, support local, because they all have dreams and we all want to get them big out there in the universe. All right, thanks so much, Seth. Have a great weekend.
You,
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.